Will more Kenyan police officers in Haiti help the country recover from gang violence? The leaders of the two countries certainly say so. Kenyan President William Ruto met Haiti's visiting Prime Minister Gary Conille in Nairobi, and the two men urged international partners to honor their commitment to the UN-backed security support mission. That's been a problem since Kenya took on the lead of the mission back in June. There's very little to lead. Apart from the Kenyans themselves, there are a handful of officers from Jamaica and Belize. Now, Ruto said the need for the international community to rally round was urgent, claiming that the operation has opened a window of success. He pledged that Kenya would more than double its contingent.
I am pleased to announce that an additional 600 Kenyan police officers are completing their pre-deployment training and will be ready for duty next month. Our officers are working closely with the Haitian National Police to restore order, structure, and create safe spaces where Haitians can thrive.
Right, so Haiti is one of the world's poorest countries and has seen an upsurge in killings, rapes, and kidnappings since the 2021 assassination of President Jovenel Moïse. Violent gangs control large areas of the capital, Port-au-Prince, terrorizing civilians. The UN says more than 3,600 people have been killed in gang violence this year alone. In 2023, the UN mandated an international security support mission led by the Kenyan police. 2,500 police officers were expected, but only 400 Kenyans arrived there 3 months ago. They've made some gains, but the task is risky. Our correspondent Mariel Mueller got exclusive access and went on patrol with the Kenyan police in Port-au-Prince.
We're about to go on patrol with the Kenyan police here in Port-au-Prince, where gangs control large parts of the city. The Kenyans are here to support the Haitian police in securing the city.
After crossing through buzzing streets full of life, just beyond Haiti's Supreme Court, everything changes.
Before, this place was inaccessible. No one could have crossed where we are right now. But now, as you can see, the street is open, but most likely we may be shot at.
We're entering a wasteland. Clear signs of fierce fighting, destroyed and burned out houses, looted businesses. Gangs could still be hiding in the buildings. This part of the city is deserted. The UN says more than 700,000 people have been displaced. They fled when the gangs started spreading terror, burning down houses, killing indiscriminately, raping women and girls. These are barricades the gangs erect to keep the police out of their territory. They pose a major challenge. Often they use shipping containers stolen from the port. Part of the Kenyans' job is to remove them by pushing them with their armored vehicle.
So we are going to push them right now so that you can see what we usually do.
A few meters before we reach the barricade, we see people running.
Those are civilians, They start running away because they know a shootout may begin any time. Is it moving?
Something hits the hatch above us. The smell of petrol engulfs us.
As you can see,
It's raining already.
petrol is still dripping inside this vehicle. They're still here, so they could still fire at us.
Look there.
Instead, the burning Molotov just misses our accompanying vehicle.
Molotov?
They target the rest of the convoy, shooting from abandoned buildings. The Kenyan forces in the second vehicle fire back. Meanwhile, the commander is getting information from his drone operator. He warns they're preparing to throw more petrol on us.
It told us actually they have started positioning themselves with bigger containers than these ones, bigger ones. That is 5 liters and above. So that when you go just below the building, they pour the fuel on us and then they burn. This was like a sign of a warning.
Not long ago, Mugu was inside this vehicle when it was attacked and set alight. but they escaped unharmed.
If we go there, they might ban us right now. So going there, it needs a lot of planning. As for now, we cannot go back there.
On the other side of the barricades, we see people running, likely gang members. We have to move quickly. Passing by some civilians who are still living here, despite the constant risk. And another not too subtle warning left by the gangs: human skulls.
The skulls are usually elected there in order to intimidate us, like sending a message, hey, don't make an attempt of coming through this street. We are here. But then we cannot be intimidated by such stuff. We have seen worse things than those.
The Kenyans selected for this mission have seen action in the border region between Kenya and Somalia, battling the Islamist militants of Al-Shabaab. We arrive at the seaport, a crucial lifeline for Haiti, bringing goods, medicine and food into the country. It was one of the first locations the Kenyans secured after their arrival. But when I want to film across the bay,
snipers everywhere.
It becomes clear, secured, but not fully safe.
We're here at the port in Port-au-Prince, and that is where the Kenyan police regained control in July. So it is partly operational, but not fully yet. And as you can see, across the bay is where the gangs still control the territory, and they sometimes shoot across the bay. And just a few days ago, they shot a dock worker here on this side. So it's still highly dangerous to be here.
It's very dangerous. It's dangerous. Of course it is. But then we have to keep on pressing on. We cannot leave the gangs to control the area. But then the problem is the Haitians really need help from the international community. We need to have people supporting us. We need more equipment so that we can be able to push on and on to make sure that the place is safe for the civilian.
Funding is the main issue. The US is the largest donor, but contributions to the UN Trust Fund are voluntary, so there's still a $200 million shortfall. And the mission is still missing personnel from other countries. Despite the challenges, Mission Commander Godfrey Otunge prefers to focus on the achievements so far.
You're talking about the airport. It is working. You talk about the hotels. The hotels in Port-au-Prince are now fully booked. The business that were closed are now opening up. Schools that were closed are now being reopened.
But he also sees the deficiencies. They urgently need helicopters to drop police inside gang areas and boats to intercept weapon supplies by sea to the gangs. So when does he expect the mission to achieve its aims?
Immediately I get whatever I'm talking about in terms of equipment, in terms of personnel, in terms of funding. It's just a matter of time, because we are aware that the mission mandate has been extended for 1 year. And after 1 year, the expectation from the international community, Haiti has to go for elections.
Critics say it could take much longer than that. Himla Rebu is the former head of special forces of the Haitian military and former government minister. He says the job should be done by a professional army, not foreigners, fighting the gangs house to house and not from inside vehicles that are not compatible for urban combat.
It's a joke. They don't have the manpower, they don't have the equipment, they don't have the aerial means, they don't have the maritime means, they don't have the means to move by land. So they are tourists.
Tourists, that's a sentiment you hear often here. With only 400 officers, the Kenyans are vastly outnumbered by the roughly 200 gangs. That's an estimated 15,000 fighters. We managed to talk anonymously with officers from the Haitian police. Every day they're out either alone or together with the Kenyans. But they're not too happy about them.
Since they have arrived, they usually don't really want to enter the risk zones, the hot zones. They often tend to retreat. They often tend to return to their base.
They hope in the coming months the Kenyans will be more offensive in fighting the gangs. Kenya's pledge to send another 600 officers may fill part of the need, but Haitian police officers tell us that with only limited knowledge of the local context, the new arrivals will still struggle. And the Kenyans, they say to achieve more security, they need the promised international support.